And welcome back, everyone, to What If Jaden Was the Lead of Duel Monsters, Part 12, The Darkness Revealed, as I'm titling this. Real quick, there was a viewer who commented that I effed up a lot of my video last week. And at first I'm like, no, I didn't. But then I realized they did point out one thing that I did screw up on. And I acknowledge I screwed up. I actually screwed up Neospatial Flare Scarab's attack points. He actually had more attack points than I originally thought, because I was having trouble keeping track of how many spells were on Raphael's field the whole time. And because of that, Jaden probably would have won that, and the Pharaoh would have won that fight a lot quicker. So, fully acknowledging, I screwed up that. That said, however, I will say, to the person who did let me know I did screw that up, thank you. And I even said, thank you, I acknowledge I screwed that up. But when you were talking about how I screwed up Neospace and Granmole's effect, how Neospace shouldn't be working, that's not how it worked in the anime, and how I got my numbers wrong for the life points, well, no, my numbers were right for the life points, it's just I screwed up the attack. So that's a problem you had, was a continuing problem for the Neospatian part. But B, I have thoroughly explained why I allowed Neospace to work in the context of the duel. And I fully explained why Grand Mole didn't go back to the hand. So if you're commenting how I screwed that up, you either were not paying attention to the video or were just looking for reasons to complain. I have a feeling more you just weren't paying attention to the video, because you didn't strike me as someone who had reasons to complain, because you did actually bring up one or two legit points that I got wrong. But yeah, to the person who said, that's not how the effect works, I explained why that's how the effect worked. And it was legitimately, Grand Mole's effect was negated. That's why it didn't return to the hand. So if you weren't able to follow along, sorry about that. Anyway, so we now move to Dartz versus Kaiba versus in this original is you, but Dartz versus Kaiba versus Jaden. And they get there. Raphael's already been defeated. Mai's been defeated as well. And they're honestly just prepared to take on. But so Dartz is this welcome Kaiba and Pharaoh. It's so good that you offer yourselves willingly. It would have been such a struggle to go after you with such little helping hands at the moment. It's over, Dartz. There's no way we're gonna let you get away with this. Taking my company, you will give us our friends back. Certainly. But only if you can beat me in a duel. Very well then. By the way, Pharaoh, she had this on her, and just hands Hermos to him, due to the fact that, it's a threat, but technically he doesn't view it as a threat also, just because there's no reason that any of the legendary dragons could theoretically beat him, at least in his mind. He thinks the Orichalcus is all powerful, and he's cocky, so he probably would give Yugi Hermos. And so Jaden Hermos in this scenario. So duel begins, and you're gonna note one big thing here, because there's two duels in this video. This duel's not gonna go very long, because, and I'll get to this in a minute. I'm going by one of the ways I watched the duel was to go watch TCG Anime's video duel breakdown of this video. And he reveals a very key thing about the duel that we'll get to. So the duel begins. Kaiba's opening hand consisted of board. And by the way, the cards are not up screen because this duel's not going to go very long. It's not the main duel of the video, actually. Hold on. But Kaiba's opening hand was Voice Reader, Paladin White Dragon, 2 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon Ritual, and Reflect Energy. Note that last card. He summons Paladin, summons Blue Eyes White Dragon with it, and ends his turn. Now, Jaden's opening hand consists of Neospace, Polymerization, Elemental Hero Sparkman, Skyscraper, Dandelion, and Bubbleman. He summons Bubbleman in defense mode. Defense mode. It draws 2 cards, which consist of Elemental Hero, Air Hummingbird, Neospatian Air Hummingbird, and Panther. He sets Poly and ends his turn. Not surprisingly, Dartz plays the Seal of Orichalcos. His opening hand actually consists of Orichalcos Gygus, Cutora, Seal of Orichalcos, Orichalcos Deuteros, Orichalcos Mirror, and Orichalcos Mirror, I believe it's Mirror Knight. He plays the Seal, summons Gygus in dispense, plays 500 life points to summon Cutoris in defense mode in the back row, and ends his turn. Now, for those of you who don't know what those card effects do, don't worry about it too much, but real quick. Gygus has, I believe it's 900 attack and 400 defense. When it is destroyed in battle, it special summons itself to the field with 500 attack. However, it cannot conduct battle in a turn it's special summoned, and you can't draw the next turn. Cutoris is a weird card. As far as I know, it does not have a real-world counterpart at this time, because it doesn't have, it's a rock type, but it doesn't have any attack or defense points. Basically, it absorbs all battle and effect damage that the user would take. And that's why Dartz puts it in his back row, because you can't get to the back row monsters without getting to the front row monsters first. And the monster in front just continually brings itself back. And when it's done or destroyed, it brings forth Orichalcos. Oh god, I can't remember the name of the card, but the big blue thing that looks like a Shukakuman. So then so next turn comes, and okay, straight out, the next turn comes. Kaiba draws, and he plays Polymerization. This brings out his Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. Now, as he is pointed out, he has Reflect Attack, which means by sacrificing another creature, all attacks that turn are direct attacks. And he could have won that turn. It's legit. It actually is legit. When you actually watch the breakdown duel, the reason, and honestly, Dartz misplayed because there's nothing, as far as we know, that says you can't play Deuteros, or the second part is Orichalcos, the fall on the same turn. So unless there's a clause that says you can't play on the same turn as the Seal of Orichalcos, he misplayed that hand, which would have countered attack or reflected. Was it reflect attack or attack reflect? What's the name of the damn card again? Reflect energy or something like that. Point being, yeah, now Kaiba doesn't have a monster in the field, but because this is a team duel, he can sacrifice Jaden's monster. Now, again, TCG Anime makes a good point about why the plot wouldn't allow Kaiba to do that, because Dartz is a little crafty, to be sure, and his ego to a certain degree, and him and Yugi had a fusion with Blackluster Soldier that was usable, which was doable, and that's what they were ultimately going for game. But, honestly, that's kind of stupid, because he didn't have any set face-down cards. And B, yeah, I mean, him and Jaden don't have the exact same relationship, to be sure. And they don't have a fusion with Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. I could make one up with Neos. It would probably be near the exact same thing. Maybe it gains 500 for all dragons in both the graveyard and the field. I don't know. I'd just be making shit up at that point. Or you could maybe say, because it's Neos, he could pull off... This card could also gain the effects of any Neospatian in the grave, or something like that. That'd be kind of cool, actually. That was, by the way, my initial idea. Just spoilers for what I initially was planning to do, because we're not going to be getting the Legendary Dragons after this. For a Timaeus Neos fusion. Because Timaeus in the real world can only fuse with Dark Magician cards. Dark Magician Girl. So you only have 3 cards. You got Dark Magician the Dragon Knight, Amulet Dragon, and Dark Magician Girl the Dragon Knight. So, excuse me 1 second. Sorry, my ears are popping a little bit. So, yeah, but it's the anime, so we can do what we like in the anime as long as it makes sense. So fusing with a monster is fine. But yeah, so it's one of those things where I think Kaiba will go in for game because Jaden's got a weak monster. It's not going to serve much point except for maybe a fusion, and not with his card for, a bigger, more powerful monster. So why not go for the game? Honestly, look, plot kind of stopped him. That's the only thing that stopped Kaiba. That is the only thing that stopped Kaiba was plot. That's it. Plot and story and writing. That's it. Otherwise, there's nothing stopping Kaiba from going to game. And honestly, he's got the perfect sacrifice in Bubbleman. So he activates and sacrifices Bubbleman, and Dart's like, well, no. And Dartz doesn't have anything to counteract. So he is defeated. The Great Leviathan comes, eats him up. Then the Great Leviathan is summoned. Kaiba gets to take that win. Now, granted, this is all filler, so it's not going to really spill over much into the rest of the series. In fact, none of this would spill over. But yeah, and so Jaden gets the Egyptian God cards back, brings them out. They duke it out with the Great Leviathan. They're able to temporarily put it down. The Pharaoh is able to ultimately stop Dartz along with Yugi's help, and all's well that ends well. But you may ask, well, wait, that's it? You're not even going to give us a duel? Well, I did say there was another duel. So throughout this whole time, the souls get released. Joey's brought back, Pegasus is brought back. Everything's all well and good, except as Jaden and the Pharaoh are watching, like, souls be released, all of that. There's a laugh again, that childish female-like laugh. It's like, Jaden, thank you, Jaden. I'll be seeing you soon. And Jaden's just like, Jaden, are you okay? No, something's wrong. Something's wrong. I don't know what is, but there's something coming, something dark. Almost as bad, something dark, but different than the Orichalcos. And so maybe a little time passes, and once again, Jaden has the dream about being in the spirit world. Only this time, it's gotten dark. It's gotten darker. And Dark Magician Girl's like, help us, save us. It's like, what happened? What's going on? They're here. Because Yubel's technically voiced by a woman, has a childlike voice, but Yubel is technically both and none of those, because they are. I mean, we call Yubel a she just because, again, the more female traits than male. But technically, Yubel is both and none, because she's got, if you look at her design, it just speaks for herself. So again, let's say it's like a dark, like just dark is spreading, night is spreading over day, and Jaden keeps seeing this winged, almost like demonic figure in the background. Pharaoh says, I sense it, Jaden. And eventually they meet up at this pillar. And they, or pillar, or place, wherever you want to call it, away from people. Joey and the gang get there too, and they just see it, like statues are all around. And one of them moves, and they say, wait, that's not a statue, that's a human? No, that's not a human. What the hell is that? And sure enough, it's Yubel. And Yubel is like, I've been waiting for this, Jaden. You abandoned. And it's like, who are you? You don't and she just gets this mock look of hurt on her face. You don't remember me, do you? I was your favorite, Jaden, and you abandoned me. And so you took everything from me. It was my job, my duty, my purpose to protect you, and you threw me away. And then she kind of gets like a little bit. So I'm going to take everything you love and throw it away. But you didn't see me all this time. You and your friend, the Pharaoh, and Atami shows up in physical form. It's like, who are you? You can call me Yubel. And Jaden has like a flashback to his memories, where it's like, Yubel, it's like, do you know this being Jaden? I feel like it's like a haze that I just forgot, but I know her. It's like, yeah, it's coming back to you now, how you abandoned me, which isn't what happened, by the way, really. When you break it, apparently Jaden's backstory, he's actually kind of effed up. He got like electric shock treatment to like forget her forcefully. So it's not her fault. She just got very hurt, and she misinterpreted things. But yeah, so Jaden, it's like, Yubel, I don't know what happened. It's like, of course you would. So now the only way to stop me is, so I'm going to tear this world down. You didn't see me there all the time, Jaden, Pharaoh, and our power starts to like kind of what I'm going to engulf this world in darkness and destroy it and rebuild, break it down brick by brick. Everything you love will be gone. It's like, not on my watch. That's and she smiles. Of course, you didn't really think it would be go over that easy. You're the only thing standing in my way. So I will take my vengeance on you, Jaden. I'll make you suffer like I suffered. And she, again, I should point out, I keep bringing it up, but I then sidetrack. She's been there all the time, feeding off energy, feeding off the shadow game magic. I mean, because her basically what's kind of happened is she's kind of been like kind of actually like Merrick Ishtar's good half was. An disembodied spirit kind of just floating around trying to gain as much strength as she could. So she's been absorbed and she's been near Jaden for a while, but has been unable to do much because the Pharaoh is there. The Pharaoh is easily as powerful, if not more powerful than Yubel is. Honestly, Yubel actually isn't as powerful as she normally would have been. She had just collected a lot of energy at that point and had super polymerization and was in a dimension where dual monsters and all that were real. So she was definitely she was definitely powered up. But yeah, so she's been building up energy since the Shadow Duels, the Shadow Games, Seer of Orichalcos, and all that thing was going there. Slowly but surely siphoning off souls. The cyber world, that's where she made a deal with Noah Kaiba to kind of start building a physical body. It wasn't until after the Orichalcos stuff where she was able to siphon off some of the excess energy from those souls in the Orichalcos itself, where she was finally able to come back. And you can make an argument that even the Orichalcos is what's kind of corrupted her a little bit. And so, the duel between Jaden and Yubel begins. And specifically, I do want to be very clear here. This is a duel, not between the Pharaoh and Yubel, but Jaden and Yubel. And the Pharaoh even says, I'm right by your side. But thanks, Pharaoh. But I think I'm going to take Jaden. Are you sure about this? Her power is something dangerous. I know. And then his eyes glow, and she is a little surprising. I see. So you have been remembering, haven't you? What your power, Jaden? What that pest the Pharaoh's been suppressing this whole time? Your inner darkness, your gentle darkness, my Jaden, my supreme king. And Jaden just his eyes glows like, you want to do this, Yubel? Fine. You threaten my friends. Let's do this. And so Yubel begins her turn. She summons some Samsara Lotus, which is a 0 attack, 0 defense monster in attack mode. Attack mode, mind you. And sets Sinister Seed. Now, Sinister Seed's effect is that you can basically mitigate the damage you take from an attack by thousands and summon 2 Sinister Seed tokens onto the battlefield. All the excess damage goes to you. So her game plan, basically, as we see it in the original fight, was for Jaden to summon out one of his fusion monsters. He summoned Flame Wigman, destroy Samsara Lotus, and then use the 2 seeds to bring out her Samsara Rose. But we're not playing with the Season 3 deck. We're actually playing with the Season 2 deck. Jaden will get the Season 3 deck after this. He's going to basically have, for the remainder of the series, minus Dark Side of Dimensions. Dark Side of Dimensions, I'm going to give him his full Season 4 deck. But yeah, this is the last duel we'll see Jaden with his Season 2 deck. But hey, we're not playing with the Season 3 deck, we're playing with the Season 2 deck. And B, I randomized this shit. So let's get into this. Jaden's opening hand consists of Neospatian Glowmoss. And remember, too, he plays the Winged Dragon of Ra. He plays the Egyptian god. So the Winged Dragon of Ra, Reverse of Neos, Elemental Hero Neos, and not one Skyscraper, but Skyscraper 2. So that's his opening hand. She also played the Spell Chronicle, which means she exiles or banishes in Yu-Gi-Oh terms. Banishes 5 cards from her deck, and it's a continuous spell. So anytime Jaden or her opponent plays a spell, she gets a hard counter of 2. Then she gets to take one of those cards back from exile. That as long as that card doesn't get destroyed, that's a ridiculously powerful card. Because spells are very major in the Yu-Gi-Oh game. But Jaden summons Glowmoss. And by the way, I did this randomly. So again, with Glowmoss's ability, he summons Glowmoss. and he attacks with Glow Moss. Now, attacking with Glow Moss basically is a is a gamble, because you're either going to switch Glow Moss to defense, stop the battle phase, or you're going to attack directly. But Jaden just decides to attack Samsara Lotus is what he does. And this does not work out to Yubel's plan at all. Actually, no. He attacks Lotus. I actually realized I didn't actually randomize. Oh, did I randomize? No, I randomized the effect. Basically, the battle phase just got stopped because Yubel just doesn't draw a card or anything like that, or draws a card. We don't know what the card draw. A lot of those cards in her hand were unknown. And so, yeah. And because of that, this is a big problem for Yubel. Her strategy revolved around Jaden destroying her monster with a big monster, because that's what Jaden's deck was designed for, and getting out the tokens to get out more dangerous creatures. But if she can't get out more creatures to sacrifice, she's shit out of luck. And yeah, plus Jaden and the Pharaoh is probably aiding him too. Like, do not play any unnecessary spells. Beyond that, though, there's no reason for Jaden to actually play either of those spells. There's not a reason. He'd set Reverse of Neos, maybe, but that's it. If he got Fake Hero, then maybe he could do that, but nope. So bring out Neos, summon Neos Fusion, and then maybe use Reverse of Neos. But Reverse of Neos, if I remember correctly, is when a Elemental Hero Neos Fusion is destroyed, not sent back to the deck. So yeah, Yubel actually has to skip her turn. So then Jaden's next turn comes up, and he summons Elemental Hero, or draws Elemental Hero Necroshade, to which he summons. He sacrifices Glow Moss and summons Necroshade. And Necroshade attacks Samsara Lotus. And Yubel now has to make the choice. Do I use this to get the Sinister Seed token, or do I not? And I think she would actually hold off, because she's trying to get Jaden to get a bigger monster out. And so she actually has to take 1,600 damage, leaving her with only 2,400 life. And Yubel ends her turn. Or Jaden ends his turn. And Yubel draws, and she's shit out of luck again. When you really actually stop and think about it, had Jaden just drawn a different hand? Hell, if Jaden had just I don't think he drew Sparkman at that time. But if Jaden had just Sparkman in his hand with no fusion monsters, he would have won that duel Hell, if Jaden had just summoned a monster to attack that wasn't a fusion monster, he would have won the duel very easily. Because if you really watch how that duel plays out, that was the whole crux. That was what she was hoping for. And yeah, no, because of this, she waits. She bricks again. He still hasn't played a spell. His next card would be Righteous Justice, which he plays, destroying Spell Chronicle. She now has to play Sinister Seeds, takes another 600 damage, gets Hate Buster as the next draw, sets it, but it's kind of moot because the Sinister Seeds are plant tokens, and Hate Buster only works with a Fiend monster. And so, yeah, as this duel is really just coming to it, and I'm really just going to summarize up this really quick here. Nope, that's not what I want to do. I want to get rid of Righteous Justice. Thank you very much. Jaden would draw his next card, which would be Rottweiler. And I'll let you know, he would draw one more card after this for Polymerization, but he summons Rottweiler, attacks the Sinister Seed, which she probably would have put to defense. She gets attacked again. She's down to her last life, and she just doesn't have it. She's just completely flabbergasted at what just happened. You're like, how? No, this can't be. Yeah, I won't let you win. And she started cooking. I won't let you win. And Jaden is now looking. Atem is looking at her with pity, like, you poor creature, Yubel. What happened to you? And she starts just breaking down in tears in her eyes. And just like, yeah, you don't have any idea of what happened to me. You don't have any idea what it's like to have your precious thrown away. You were my everything, Jade. I would have done anything for you. And Jaden's down. And as this is coming to finally all his memories All of her pain and emotions and energy is flowing into him. And he finally, there, click right there if you can hear it on the camera. What? Finally, there it goes. Finally remembers and remembers Yubel. It's like, that's right. And Jaden finally, his gentle darkness fades away. And he remembers, like, you were my favorite card. I loved wanting to try to play you. But no matter what happened, people kept getting hurt. You kept hurting people. It's like, and she acknowledges she did that, but she's like, I was trying to protect you, but they weren't they weren't evil or bad or anything, Yubel. They were just people playing a game. But it wasn't your fault. And yeah, it's like his memories are coming back too, where he like remembers of like being the Spring King, because he is a reincarnation as well. And his memories and attempts are kind of joined to a certain degree. So it's like, I see, you were someone very important, Jaden. Someone I could, perhaps you were even a contemporary of mine. It's like, maybe we knew each other back in the day. And they kind of like have lots of, and we don't have to. This doesn't have to be bad, Yubel. And it's like, and he says, and he attacks, and he ends the duel, but he doesn't destroy her or anything. It's just. Actually, he doesn't even do it. He makes her forfeit is what he does. Like, it's okay. It's welcome back. And it's like, what? And she just like that? It was like, just like that. And just smiles. And he just smiles at her with like the eye smile. I mean, I suppose it's like, we can be together again. We can, we don't have to be separate anymore. It's like, and she just starts crying. It's like, we're back together again. She just smiles. And Tam's like, well, it is nice. And Tam walks up too. And he's like, it is good to finally meet you, Yubel. Yeah, you've had an amazing ward. Your ward is an amazing person, and I've grown very fond of him myself. I hope we can both move forward to help each other, him as well as each other. And Yubel smiles and takes the Pharaoh's hand. Now. So, and finally, her energy dissipates, but it goes into Jaden. So Jaden and her are now fused together, and right now, she is sharing a body with the Pharaoh. Insert your shipping fanfic here, everyone. Hey, weirder things have happened. Why not? No, seriously, why not? Why couldn't they be like a weird spirit couple for a while? Yeah, it works. I don't know what the situation for that would be, but and so yeah. Oh, I forgot one image. And so, yep, Jaden and Yubel forgive each other, and it's like, look at that face. She's so happy. She's so content. So yeah, and that, everyone, is the end of part 12. I think I'll call it The Fate of Darkness. I think that's what I'm going to call it. That's actually not a bad title at all. That sounds like an actual anime title. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you folks for the next one. Real quick, I don't think I'm going to go into the Grand Tournament arc, but I don't know. It'll depend if I can find the actual breakdown of that duel. But yeah. By the way, I did use one of the get out of jail free cards, basically, or with the duel free cards, plot armor cards, plot armor points, as I call them, for Jaden with the Dartz fight, just because of the fact that Kaiba would have won the duel. Anyway, so that's it. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time.